Welcome back to another edition of Raw Out of 10 right here on the Wrestle Debate. Big show today. Of course, we're continuing all of the fallout from Money in the Bank a few weeks ago, and of course we got a new Raw Women's Champion last week in Nikki ASH, even easy for me to say, and we're continuing on the road to SummerSlam, so let's get straight into it. Cross welcomed us to Raw and to celebrate becoming a new champ after cashing in the briefcase last week. Nikki said that she previously didn't believe in herself, but ever since finding her new persona, she now had confidence to go out and win, before Charlotte came out mocking Nikki, saying she won the title on a technicality and that they wanted a SummerSlam rematch. Charlotte was ranting to the fans when Ripley came out and said she wanted to face Nikki at SummerSlam. Sonya Deville came out and decided a triple threat match at SummerSlam. God, when will this Charlotte Rear feud be over? But anyway, next up we got Damien Priest versus Sheamus. Sheamus was tossed out of the ring early on before they caught Damien and dropped her on the apron. After a break on Raw, Priest hit a big clothesline and knocked Sheamus' mask off. Priest then hit a chokeslam from the top rope with a near fall before going for the hit the light slam, but Sheamus hit the Alabama slam. Priest got a big kick in the face to get the win. I'm going to give this 6 out of 10. Don't have too much of an issue with this. Just building up new challenges. At the end of the day, it won't harm Sheamus too much. We then saw Charlotte and Rhea brawling backstage, as then it was confirmed that Nikki ASH versus Charlotte would take place in the main event, before we got AJ and Omos versus the Viking Raiders. AJ and Eric kicked off the match on Raw, and the Viking Raiders were isolated. Back on Raw after the break, the Champs were still in control and isolated Ivar in the corner this time. And a phenomenal forearm from AJ connected. However, Ivar went to the outside. AJ hit a springboard 450 splash, however, managed to get him back in the ring and picked up the win. 6 out of 10, as long as that was the end of the feud, there's no too big issue with it, and hopefully the tag champs can just move on to bigger and better things now. Before Drew McIntyre was out next, and Mahal was back and wanted Drew to apologise for injuring Shanky or else he would show him. Drew asked the audience and they preferred the Scotsman to beat up Veer instead. Drew was unloading on Veer and Jinder tried to distract him with a steel chair. Veer got the upper hand for a small second before McIntyre got back in control. Jinder handed Veer the steel chair and was about to hit McIntyre with it before Drew hit a claymore. After the match, Drew brought Jinder's lawyer into the ring and hit him with a claymore as well. 6 out of 10, just slowly building up. But anyway, next up was Eva Marie and Doudrop versus Natty and Tamina. Eva started the match and was immediately sent into the corner by Natalie before Doudrop made a tag. Doudrop hit a crossbody before tagging in Eva, but she failed to get the pin. On the Titantron, Alexa played a party video of Evolution, and the distraction allowed Tamina to get the super kick to get the win. 5 out of 10. Just don't know where this is going. 50-50 booking. It's just confusing, to be honest. Before we got Karrion Kross versus Keith Lee in action. Lee hit a big slam on Raw and knocked Kross out of the ring with a huge suplex. Back on Raw, Kross got a near fall, locking in the headlock, but Lee broke out of it. Lee knocked Kross out around the ring a few times before Kross locked in the Kross jacket in the ring and Keith finally tapped out. 4 out of 10 for me. At least Kross got his win back. But yeah, Keith Lee losing twice in a row, especially to Karrion Kross, who was buried last week to Jeff Hardy. It just doesn't go down too well with me, to be honest. Before we got Mace and TBar versus Mansour and Mustafa Ali. Ali was taking a beating early on before he hit a huge kick on TBar before Mace was tagged in, and so was Mansour. Mansour hit a reverse DDT for a near fall before TBar took him down with a big boot. TBar was looking for a chokeslam, but Mansour rolled him up to get a quick win. I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10. It just felt like a pointless match, to be honest, with no real direction. And yeah, that's kind of what we've come to expect with these two wrestlers. So yeah, I just can't grade it too highly, if I'm being really honest. Before Bobby Lashley was out next, just said that Goldberg disrespected him with the challenge. Alexander and Benjamin came out. MVP tried to get them to leave before Lashley said he will take both of them right away, and he did. Lashley took out both men and Cedric went outside before sending him into the steel ring post. Back in the ring, Shelton tried to sneak one up and get the advantage before Lashley hit a spine buster on Alexander and a spear on Benjamin before the jackhammer and Dominator. The WWE champ pinned both of them. 4 out of 10. What was the point in this? Did it put Lashley over really? And it just buried Alexander and Benjamin. Ugh. before AJ Styles walked up to Miz and Morrison before Morrison's match with Riddle, plotting something in secret away from the cameras, and that match did then take place. Riddle got the advantage early on and hit a huge fisherman's suplex. Back after a break, Riddle hit a swing world dive to the outside before AJ and Omos showed up. Morrison hit the distraction to hit some big moves to get near fall. Styles and Omos then broke Riddle's scooter, and Morrison used the second distraction to get the Starship Pain for the win. Styles attacked Riddle after the match, hitting a Styles Clash. 5 out of 10. The match was okay, but yeah, it kind of just felt repetitive. I'm just not sure what to think of it, to be honest. Before we got Reginald versus R-Truth. R-Truth was wearing a mic as the match began. Truth used Reginald's own jacket to bind him, but Reggie managed to dodge a big tackle and rolled him up with a senton to get the win. 4 out of 10. This was just weird. The 24/7 title seems to have just come out of absolutely nowhere again. Not too sure what to think really. Before we got Nikki Ash versus Charlotte. Charlotte hit a clothesline and sent Nikki into the corner on Raw, punishing her before trying to rip the champ's mask off. Nikki finally fought back and sent Charlotte into the corner before countering a vertical suplex and getting a roll up. Nikki hit the DDT and kicked to the outside before being dumped over the announce desk. Flair was still in control after a break, but Nikki kept kicking out. She then hit the crossbody, but Charlotte rolled over her and got the pin instead. Flair got on the mic and told Nikki she wasn't good enough to be in the ring with her. Nikki was furious and she almost beat her, challenging her to a rematch next week. Nikki went for a handshake and Flair beat her up, mocking her with the audience cheering for her. I'm going to give this a 5 out of 10. Yeah, the champ losing 1 week after winning it and just not getting the reaction that they wanted to, it's just really not great size, to be honest, especially considering the Rhea Ripley reign we've just had. Raw this week gets a 5 out of 10 for me. For me, yeah, this wasn't a great Raw, but it's kind of the Raw we've come to expect. The first half wasn't too bad, there were some decent matches in there, but I kind of felt like it did go downhill, just quite a bit in the second part of the show, but yeah, let's just move on. But anyway guys, that's it for the video. Thanks very much for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe, remember your thoughts, comments down below, follow me on Twitter, link in the description below for daily wrestling news, and subscribe to my channel and screen right now, that would be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace.